Result. It's a tribute to all the ones who ran before me. Known to spit truth so y'all can understand his glory. It's a tribute to all the ones who ran before me. Known to spit truth so y'all can understand his glory. It's a tribute to all the ones who ran before me. Known to spit truth so y'all can understand his glory. It's a tribute to all the ones who ran before me. Known to spit truth.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unsolicited, episode 39. I'm your host, the Evangelical Norm. Unsolicited is just that. It is my unsolicited opinion on all kinds of things as far as entertainment, movies, TV shows, books, mostly music, mostly hip-hop, and in that mostly Christian hip-hop, because that's kind of where I live. That's the stuff that I want to support, and that's the stuff that I listen to mostly. So usually you're going to get a video response or reaction to a video or a review of albums as they come out, and usually it's only the stuff that I like. I am not that guy that I just want to take an album that is horrible and drag it through the mud. I may give some people some feedback privately, and I know I could probably get a whole lot more views if I was just cutthroat and just tear stuff down. But my purpose in this and Unsolicited is really to kind of promote really good Christian hip hop and other stuff that I do, but mostly Christian hip hop, and promote that and get you to go out and help support these guys that are making good lyrical theology or just really good Christian hip hop so that they can continue to make good Christian hip hop and help them to make money, off of the gifts and the talent that God has given them. So you're not going to get a whole lot of Simon Cowell, it's Pitchy Dog, no, it's a, horrible, whatever. I'm not going to tear guys down unless I absolutely have to. If there's something that comes out that's just bad theology, something like that, more than likely I'm going to deal with that over on the Master's Dog podcast other than here. But I can get ruthless if I need to, but I try not to. So all that being said, if you're new to the podcast, that's a little bit of background on what we do here, what I do here at Unsolicited. And so this week, episode number 39, we are going to take a look at Curt Kennedy's new album that just came out middle of last month, Reporting Live. I have to say this is my favorite picture of Curt Kennedy. He was masking up before masking up was required. And mandated by governors around the country. So, this is one of my favorite pictures of Curt. This is his, let me see if I can get it right. This is his 13th studio album. Was released on his son's 13th birthday. Pray for Curt. He is now the father of a teenager. And it is the first album where he actually took the photo for the album cover. So, and there's maybe one or two other little things about this album that make it really special for him, especially. And I love this album cover. I really do. This is really. This is Reporting Live. I've said this about many of Curt's albums in the past, that especially with 2020, that this is the soundtrack of our time, the soundtrack of the year. That's what this intended to be. This is really him taking and just going through current events and stuff like that and really putting forth his musical opinion on these things. And so this album cover, this picture that he took with the capital, the nation's capital in the back, the mask, the clenched fist. There's so much nuance in this album cover. And so usually I don't get real excited about album covers. I think the last album cover that really got me to make this many comments about it was Ian Buchanan and Stract, the album they did, Supreme. And so with the tree and stuff like that, and I think Stract may have actually drawn that. So again, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes an album cover really kind of gets my attention. This one did. So this is again his 13th studio album. Between stuff as The Voice, Frustrated Christian, now as Curt Kennedy. So this was this really is one of my favorite albums of the year. I don't think it quite hit number one. If I were to do a top album of the year, those honors still go to I think Zay the Blacksmith. Irons in the Fire is my album of the year, followed by Stract. The Beat Goes On, and then this would be my number 3 album from 2020. If I were to make a ranking listing, this is my number 3 album, and this album is really, really. I don't know how much more I can say about it. I without sounding fanboyish, but this is definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. Let me see if I've still got. I want to play a little clip. I'm going to play a clip from one of the videos that he's released already off of this album. I did a reaction to the video Triggered. So if you want to see that one, go check out the episode 37 is the reaction I did. Live reaction, having not seen the video before. Although I had heard the song, I hadn't seen the video. So there's a live reaction to that. But I'm going to play probably one of my 2 favorite songs on this album for you. The video of it here in a minute. And I'm going to play, usually I don't play everything, but this video I want to play the entire thing from beginning to end. Let you see the whole video. Simply because, I liked it that much. Usually I only give you a little taste of the song. But I'm going to give you a taste of a couple other songs on here. From this album, if I can get my stuff set up right here, which I should have probably done before I started. Let's see. Here's the track list. Let's give you that. Track list, this is 17 songs on this album, which is half of what you're used to from a Curt Kennedy album. If you've had C4 and the Appendix, those are like 38, 39 songs long. I'm still listening to Appendix and it hasn't finished yet. So, but a couple of tracks off of here. I'm going to say Small World is my favorite song on here. It really is. It's a toss up between Small World and In Not Of featuring Josh Francis. As far as my 2 favorite songs, Petty Foul is one where, I've made these comments before. Listening to some of Curt Kennedy's albums, you come away from it with a black eye, but your thumbs upping. I should have got the picture from. I got one wild hair in my beard that is driving me nuts. I apologize. Chocolate Knox would be yelling at me for stroking my beard as much as I am, but I've got this hair over here that keeps sticking out, and I apologize. So I'll leave it alone. Completely lost my train of thought. Oh, so I should have got the meme from Sandlot of Smalls with the black eye with the thumbs up and the smile, because you really do. You come away going thumbs up, but man, I got punched in the eye listening to that song. Triggered is one of those songs. Petty Foul is one of those songs. I think I will play a little clip of just a little bit of, again, one of my favorite songs, In Not Of, and then I'm going to play a little bit of Petty Foul, and then we'll get to this video for Small World. But here is Curt Kennedy featuring Josh Francis, track number 4 off of Reporting Live. This is In Not Of.
Curt Kennedy, I got some issues and I give them to you cause I am official, so I will not miss you. And why do not people see that 2020 is clarity, perfect vision? It shows us how fragile is our humanity, economic disparities, a lot of heresies, 2020 Christianity without the paraclete. How dare you speak saying race is systemic. And if you do, you'll have to meet and greet Mr. Polemic. Ironically, them same people that say it don't exist using the same language, but media's who they going against. Yeah, that hypocrisy is on fleek mode, and both sides are gaming and claiming they got the cheat code. Trump won't concede, and conservatives they on beast mode. Liberals forget, not my president was decode. They follow, but me, I just keep myself in a balance, trying to trust the Lord and not be defeated by any challenge.
In and out of, he has a home for us above, and I'm gonna make it, baby. I won't let this world gon' make me crazy. In and out of, he has a home for us above, and I'm not losing here. Jesus lives, so I will persevere. I was born into ministry. I've seen so many believe and leave, reject eternity. This ain't how I thought it'd be, how it ought to be. But all that I can do is trust what I know to be true. But in this day and age,
All right, so there you go. In and Not Of, featuring featuring Josh Francis with Curt Kennedy. That is probably, again, there's a real close battle between Small World and In Not Of as my favorite song off of this album. The other song that probably, I don't know, 3 or 4. There's not a bad song on here. There's one that you'll probably have to not listen to if you have kids. I remember going through the appendix. No, it wasn't the appendix. I think it was Philosophy. Now I don't remember which album had which song. Redneck's End. I believe that's off of the appendix. Yeah, it's off of the appendix. And I was listening to that album, and I've got my daughter in the back seat, and then that song came on, and I'm like, oh, we gotta listen to that later. There is, you can see in the track list here, there is one song that if you have kids, you're gonna want to not, especially if they're kids who repeat. If they're older, and you can have the conversation with them, then absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying, censor anything, but I've got a 4-year-old daughter who repeats everything. And so, I mean, she now knows the words to JJ Fadd's Supersonic almost by heart. And, hit me up in the messenger if you think I need to repent for introducing my daughter to JJ Fadd. But so, again, other than that, a song you may want to listen to with young children who parrot everything, not a bad song on here. But again, my favorites, and it could change in a week or two as I listen to this more, but my favorites in order, I'm going to say Small World, In Not Of, and then Petty Foul. And I'm going to play a little bit of this one for you too, because and each one of these kind of hit me where I live, because I'm a very political guy. So listening to In and Not Of, where it gets into, issues of politics and poly-Christians and so on, which he talks about as well in other songs on here. But not letting your politics become more than your Christianity, not letting your politics influence your Christianity. We should let our faith influence our politics. And so In and Not Of, Small World, y'all know I do the podcast, The Fifth Seal. Every year, throughout the year, I talk about the persecuted church around the world. So the Small World hits right in that, and we're going to look at that video here in a couple minutes. And then Petty Foul, the whole issue of beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news. But some of y'all out there, your petty's foul. Your feet aren't beautiful. What you're bringing is not in line with what we would consider beautiful feet and so on. So here is Petty Foul, just a little clip of that for you. So here we go.
Hey, you see the debate? Hey, that joint was crazy, man. I tell you what, believers gonna damage their testimony messing around with this dude. drummer for days, ain't never been unemployed cause they said crime pays. I know you heard it being so scared your heads will raise. How about a head trigger pistol so them heads get grazed? Wear my heart on my sleeve like on Valentine's days, and never watched a baseball game but play for the Braves. I'm from the hood where my state put a stake in the tray, and now we haunted by the rays that was felt in the slaves. Pistols pop like whips on their back, did a web of lies they telling us arachnid. Black kids wouldn't give a pound to them clowns in my hood. Only pizza was delivered with a church at, pointing their fingers and saying we the worst act, but taking our money for funerals from dirt naps. I thought y'all saved, but y'all be looking down on us, but y'all forgot he raised. Blessed are the feet that carry the good news. You dudes are colorblind cause you giving me blues. Your patty's foul. Your patty's foul. Blessed are the feet that carry the good news. You dudes ain't colorblind cause you giving me blues. Your patty's foul. Your patty's foul. Y'all dudes like David Blaine got tricks for days. I see you three call Monty with the guy had praise. When it suits you, you slack like a dress shirt with cufflinks. Social media tough. What does the God of love think? Let me guess, he agrees with you because you call the little dispersion, then you beef with dudes. When you're rude, you just call your opposition a snowflake. You COVID-19 cause you got no taste. You better wash your feet. You got demonic toes and you deceive, thinking that he is a fan of your shows. You better study the prose, I mean literature though. You got the spirit in you, let that spirit get at you, bro. Cause yo, you think he's proud of your jousting, and I think you're proud wanting clout in. And you start the drama for the traffic, and then say you follow him who's back split. Blessed are the feet that carry the good news. You dudes are colorblind cause you giving me blues. Your patty's foul. Your patty's foul.
All right. So there's a little bit of Petty Foul. Again, if you want the rest of it, you got to go buy the album. Go pick it up. You can get it at Bandcamp. You can get it at Amazon, iTunes, wherever you get your music. It is not available to stream yet, and it won't be for a while. And I agree with that decision that Curt makes on all of his albums before he makes it available to stream. If you want it, you got to go buy it. And I'll get on that soapbox here in a minute. When we finish up the episode, but yeah, we need to be supporting these guys and actually spending our money and not just streaming the music when it's available there. So that is Petty Foul. Again, I mean, you got to get into Curt's lyrics and realize, I mean, some of the stuff I mean, I do this stuff on YouTube and on social media and stuff, and so I fall into the category that he talks about, and these are things that help keep me in check. I mean, there are things on the song Triggered that he did that I'm like, I've said those things. There are things that I'm like, am I that guy in Petty Foul? Am I that guy on social media that's just tearing people down or you know, whatever, you know, that, you know, Beef is another one where it's like, you know, what am I doing with my social media presence? And what am I doing with the voice that God has given me in respect to sharing the gospel, in respect to recognizing issues in the world and stuff like that. So again, this is one of those albums that you're going to listen to it, you're going to love it, but if you're honest with yourself, you're going to come away with a black eye in a couple of spots. So this is the song. This is easily my favorite. Well, again, not easily. I've said it so many times. This is really a toss-up, but I'm going to give this my favorite song on the album, Small World, just because it hits me right where I live in the issue of, and I've said things like this before, where it's like, you know, you listen to people talk about how we're being persecuted in America, our Christian liberties are being threatened and stuff like that, and it's like, bro, stop. Look at what's happening in the Middle East. Look at what's happening in Nigeria. Look at what is happening in China. Now let's stop and think, where are our Christian liberties and where are we being persecuted here? So, excuse me, I am going to hit this and I'm going to play the whole video here. So we got 3 minutes and then we'll wrap up the episode. But I am going to play this whole video. This is Small World off of Reporting Live by Curt Kennedy. Here we go.
You better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time.
Bombs going off in Beirut, and yet at the same time, people triggered on Twitter, bitter over political lines, wasted my literal time. Read between the lines and you brave. If you behave cause you cynical of the grind, you rage in a godly way. Some would say, oh, that's fine, but examine your timeline. You clearly behind, you will believe it. John 15, renewing your mind, but you Jonah with it, complaining about the sun and the vine. Your life is good, fam, it ain't that bad. Oh, you oppressed, but you got it better than everybody in Baghdad. Time take some to see what is really being oppressed. You screaming out black lives and they back and looking for flesh that belongs to somebody that was killed by a drone. An 8-year-old searching under metal and bones. Trauma's factual, not psychological, but it's practical. In their wars, not a war of wars, a war is more tactical. But I get it though, the white man is holding you back. And I get it though, you white and you feeling attacked. On your timeline, they calling you Cameron and you a Marxist. But in Idlib, the caliphate's using children as targets. As targets, you shop at Target, cause Target is your market. For them, it's where their heart is godless. In this city, no pity for bullet fragments. Abandoned elementary schools, but bullets passing. They barely got enough to survive on. Saluting is foreign, their eyes on rice. And Waller, they storming and thrive on ISIS. Hate that they smelling like urine, but you oppressed, stealing TVs and breaking in buildings, sure in the twilight zone. Somewhere you might be right, you want justice, but in Syria, they just want ice to cool their kids with fevers that flare up in the night. They wish they had your privileges. You think it's just whites and whites getting pushback saying you can't handle this, offended but benefited from others' disadvantages. Please, you know the stories, you ain't tripping at all. Your big problems in the grand scheme, I'm really that tall. What I mean for all of us is that our world is too small. It's like a fumble, that means we gotta lob on the ball. Gotta be humble, cause scripture says if not then we'll fall. Or worse, the wrong number that we weren't even called, cause we were snared to this world. So I dare you to compare you and them, declare who and when and where you got a leg to stand on. When they wearing sheets for clothes and you got name brands on, and on top of that using stats as new attacks. Never mind, cause that's above your head, man, you relax. Never mind, you relax. They living where their rats are bigger than all their cats. Whatever, you ain't suffering nothing. Bammers.
All right, so that is Small World from Curt Kennedy off of the Reporting Live album. Available now anywhere where you get your albums. It's like less than $10, I believe. Less than $10. Maybe it's $10.99 on Bandcamp. But you can get this album, and this is again, this is the soundtrack of 2020 from beginning to end. And again, one song that you're not going to want to play around your kids if they're little, but it is actually a really good song to play if you've got older kids that you can have this conversation with. It's an amazing song because he kind of goes backwards from modern day use of the NIGGA terminology back into, and it ends in a slavery kind of skit with, I mean, there's a kind of a limerick kind of thing that you've got a guy singing at the very end of it that is, I mean, probably one of the most catchy little tunes, but it's something that I would never want to sing. But I mean, it's an earworm. It'll get stuck in your head listening to it. But it goes backwards into this kind of slavery situation and the use of the NIGGER terminology. And so it's probably the top 5 songs for me on the album, but I just have to be aware of what little ears are around when I'm listening to it and so on. So there you have it, guys. That is Reporting Live from Curt Kennedy. It is, again, an amazing album put out by Curt. You will not be disappointed in this album, even though it is probably half of what you're used to from a Curt Kennedy album. It is still has everything packed into a smaller package that you got from C4 and Appendix and Philosophy and everything before that. So Curt Kennedy, Reporting Live, go pick it up, buy the album. Again, it's not available to stream right now anyway, so if you want it, you got to go buy it, and I encourage you to do so. Curt makes his living as a pastor. That's where this is just something that he does because God's gifted him to do it. He's got something to say, and we enjoy and are blessed by this stuff that he does. So we want to bless him back. And so go and give to support the album. And there you go. Hopefully you guys like it and you'll go get it. And as always, preach the gospel at all times. And I hope you can't hear the children upstairs shouting and screaming coming over the microphone. Hopefully that's it. So preach the gospel at all times. Use words. It's necessary. Until next time, Soli Deo Gloria.